Yesterday we were riding along and we were outside Sampango, Zacatepecas, and we came around the corner and there was about, I don't know, maybe 8, 10, 12 motorcycles in front of us that actually looked like they were riding together. Because
yeah, which was strange because there were those little, local Guatemalan bikes.
Right. So they and they were letting other bikes go by. So they must be together. So then in front of us, one of the guys, he does a little wheelie, basically just blipped the front wheel off the ground, but he'd got a crutch over his left arm. And then as they came to a hill, as smaller bikes do, they slowed down, and we went by them. And he had a tank shift. He basically had, like down here, a rod coming off his shifter, and it looked like there was a little boy on the back. Looked like the little boy was doing the shifting, but actually he wasn't. What he was doing was he would pull the clutch in, like we all do, left hand, and as he pulled the clutch in, changed down a gear, he would just change gear. So the noticeable thing was the left leg was missing, so that's why with the shifter. So we slowed down to try and talk to him, and they went whizzing by us. So then we had to chase them down again for a second time, and Agla just rode up behind him, beep beep on the horn, waved to him, and he slowed down and we had a chat with him. So we were chatting to him for probably 10 minutes, something like that, and he is way more of an interesting character than a guy riding a motorcycle with one leg missing. So Agla last night on Facebook, look at that, that's cool, last night on Facebook, she was chatting to him, so she's going to fill in the rest of the story and I'm going to shut up. So off you go.
So the guy's name is Robin. He's 25 years old, and the kid on the back was his son, Angelito, or Angel in English, who's 8 years old. And so Robin lost his leg when he was 17 years old, and it was just a freak accident. He lives in Guatemala City, which is notoriously dangerous, and he's not very rich, so he lives on the poor part of town, and he was coming back home from work, and there was a shooting, and a stray bullet hit his leg, and unfortunately at the hospital they told him they had to amputate him. So, I mean, losing your leg at 17, I can't even imagine what that must have felt like. And he used to be an avid cyclist, so it was like a double whammy. He couldn't ride his bicycle anymore. But then somebody suggested, well, why don't you get a motorcycle? It'd be easier for you. Just have to modify, the gears and maybe stick a second wheel on the back or training wheels or something so you can keep the balance. And he started thinking about it and just talking to people, because again, he comes from a very poor background. And his boss at the time said, hey, I have a used 125, a Suzuki maybe or something like that. Why don't you just have it and try to make it work, and let's hope that, that will help you. So he got the bike and he started thinking, well, how do I ride it? What can I do about it? And he said he tried a few things, and he crashed a lot, and he fell down a lot, and eventually he figured out what did you say it was, like a little rod that he would push either down or pull up? Right?
Yeah, it was a steel rod that was bolted onto the shift lever, and on the top of it was a little piston, probably from a 125, because he's also a motorcycle mechanic.
So he did that, and then he just absolutely fell in love with motorcycling, and he didn't stop there. He got a job as a motorcycle messenger, courier, which is what he still does now, and he just loves the freedom that the bike gave him, and he started racing. If you just, there's a disabled riders club in Guatemala City, and they pretty much invited him to train with them and to ride with them. And of course, it's not easy, because he just gets a bike, whatever bike, from whoever who's willing to help him and just lend him their bike. So he has like a little portable rod thingy that he just hooks up onto whichever bike, and that's how he races. And he's been to championships. He's won a couple of them, or at least got some trophies here in Guatemala, in Honduras, Nicaragua and Mexico. And his dream is to go to a Bridgestone handy race in Spain one day. Of course, it doesn't sound like it's achievable. He's still just a motorcycle messenger, and he's a single dad. So for him, that's, you know, it's like going to the moon, but who knows? And he's just, I don't know, I really love the fact that he's so amazingly positive. You know, he just stopped to chat, we waved him down, and we were talking to him, and he just all smiles, and he told us a little bit about himself, and he asked us where you guys go, and we told him Argentina, and he's like, oh my god, that's so cool, I rode to Nicaragua once. So he's also an adventure rider. He managed to ride that little bike from Guatemala City all the way through Honduras, Salvador, Nicaragua, and back with one leg and 2 fingers missing. So if that's not determination, I don't know what is. And yeah, we were just completely taken aback and just impressed, you know. That's a will. That's a real passion for motorcycles. That if a missing leg won't stop you, then nothing will, right?
He kind of reminds me in a small way of Dave Barr. For anybody that's watching, listening, that doesn't know who Dave Barr is. Dave Barr was a US military veteran, lost both his legs, and multiple other things happened to him, I think during Vietnam, and I forget what they classed him as, something like 160% disabled, and they told him, you know, basically, you're just going to sit there and do nothing for the rest of your life. And he's a pretty arrogant guy, and he just turned around and he said, fuck you, I'm going to go ride around the world. And he took a Harley Davidson and went and rode around the world. So this guy is, in a small way, is very similar. Obviously, you know, the wealth of the individual makes a difference on where they can go. But yes, very, very impressive, and a genuinely nice, humble guy, and you know, he understands obviously what's happened to him, and he's happy with his lot, and he's just getting on with it. He's doing it where I know a lot of people just would not do that. They would just, you'd never see them again. We're obviously riding through Guatemala. We're actually riding from Coban up to Flores via Secche, taking some back roads on Route 9. So we're talking about Robin. So what's in the next segment that we talk about? We're talking about gear and him, and maybe getting him some stuff. Just want to make this really 100% clear to everybody. He did not ask for a single thing. Didn't ask for a penny, didn't ask for any gear or anything like that. We just think it would be something with us as motorcycle riders, it would just be a good deed just to help the guy out. So
yeah, I just you know, what he wanted from us when he stopped him when we stopped him and talked to him was our Facebook contact, so he could follow our journey, because he just was like, wow, Argentina, that is so awesome, you know. And then we just got talking on Facebook, and he was telling me about the racing, and he sent me a little YouTube video. It was Guatemalan TV that did a little interview with him, and he mentioned something about the difficulties with racing because he didn't have the right gear, and then some races just wouldn't allow him to take part because he just doesn't have the right protection, right? And I said, oh, have you figured something out? Do you have the gear now? Are you okay? And he said, well, no, I can't afford it. You know, I have to take care of Angel, so it's just not an option for me. And that was it. He did not, again, at no point did he ask for anything at all. This is completely our idea, not his.
So a little bit more about Robin. So his son is 8 years old. He's 25. Guatemala is, you know, renowned as one of the poorer countries in the world, and he's trying to do some of the more expensive things that affluent guys would love.
Group intercom disconnected.
That would love to do. That I personally couldn't even afford. But you know, they do have they do have some groups here. So basically, I'm sure there's a lot of people, because this is all motorcycle related, that just have stuff sitting in their closet, from whenever. Guatemalans are small. They're generally, I would probably say he was maybe 5'5", something like that. His son's 8 years old and growing. But if you have you have kids, or you're a smaller guy, or you have a big kid, and you've got stuff just sitting there, if you're up for it, we can put you in touch with him, and maybe send him some gear, make his life that little bit safer. And also, we'll do that, but you never know who's watching, who's listening. But maybe at some point we can get maybe a company or a race team that has some kind of interest, and get him a little bit of donation, a little bit of money, so we can go a little further afield, do something a little bit more involved, because we're the same. We love motorcycles. We all love motorcycles. So I know I've seen on ADV Rider in the flea market, there's a free stuff section, and people just claim it, and all they do is pay for the shipping. How about that? Some of that free stuff just gets sent to Guatemala. So, what do you think about that?
I didn't hear any of it because it cut out. So. Oh.
Okay. Well, I just said what we were talking about, but yeah, it's basically get some of the riders to. Maybe if they have some stuff in their closet, just to donate, and then we'll see if we can do something a little bit more. Maybe get him a little bit of money, a little bit of new gear from maybe some suppliers, some bigger companies. Yeah.
And especially his boy. I mean, he's got this, the little crappy Chinese helmet, and he's just riding in his sneakers and blue jeans. And I know that Robin loves his boy dearly, but he's just, he just can't afford anything. So
because
it'd be great to help him.
Yeah, because what you got to think is, a lot of people that haven't traveled, you don't realize how poor some people are, and how some of these areas you come through, and Guatemala is not that cheap. It's definitely going, because the currency is pretty stable and things are going up in value. So his first and major priority is to feed his son. And he said the days that he doesn't get any work as a motorcycle courier or doing anything else, he has to go out on the street and beg. He has to generate some money, because basically the country is not doing anything for him. So there was no, he's not getting shot. You get shot, there's no insurance. Like the Western world, chances are the guy that shot him was never found, never arrested, never brought to justice. So he's
he's a single dad as well, so he doesn't get any help at all. It's just him and Angel. Yeah.
So he was doing what yesterday with the group of guys, the 8, 10, 12 guys that were in front of us. They were doing pretty much what we were doing. They were going for a ride from Guatemala City out into the countryside, and they were going to go and see some ruins.
He said they were going for Mr. Viejo because he wanted Angel to see there's some temples there or something like that.
So he's the exact same mindset as almost everybody that I know that rides a motorcycle.
Absolutely, and he said about his Nicaragua trip. He said, I just got on my bike and rode, and it was like the best thing. Just go, all the way.
Yeah. So we'll leave that with you. If you have anything you want to say, just if it's YouTube, and I don't know how it is, people point. I have no clue how YouTube works, but there's comments. They're down below. They're down there somewhere. If it's ADV Rider, send me a PM. Don't because this could take over a ride report. Send me a PM, and we'll give you more details. We'll tell you how to get in touch with Robin directly. And then if you want to do it by yourself, or you want to include your company or friend's company or motorcycle brand or whatever, then we'll help you out as much as we can. But you got to remember, we're on the road, so this is for us this is difficult. In 14 days we're going to be out at sea heading to Cuba, and chances are we will not have a connection for probably it could be anything up to 2 months, hopefully not, but so we're gonna have to leave this with you and you, and when I'm saying you, I'm talking about everybody, a collective you, to do this on our behalf. So we'll do the introduction, you guys do the rest, and we'll say thank you in advance.
Connected.